Aloha, folks. It's Antonio with hypnosisproductreviews.com. Today I've got my good friend Ken Guzzo, all the way from Sacramento, right?
That's right. That's where I am today.
Wow, I got that correct. Good. That's a Sacramento non-smoking center, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So far, two for two. This podcast is mainly to keep people abreast of what's been happening with me over the past 6 or 7 months since a demo that he did with me in hypnothoughts last year. What was the class called again? Was it Keeping the Change?
What was it? It was what was the title? It was Keep Making the Change Stick.
Yeah, I think it was Making the Change Stick. It was about how sometimes hypnosis doesn't always make a change stick, and it was a very powerful process. I'm gonna let him actually talk about the process first, and I can go into for people that weren't there, I can describe what it was like. It was a really good healing group dynamic.
Yeah, you know what? It was standing room only. There's a lot of people wanted to come and see you make that transformation. And you got a lot of good friends in that room too that really cared about what was going to happen with you too. So I don't know how many that room holds, probably about close to 100. And there were people standing on the back wall because there were no seats. So we had a nice full room. I think it was salon, the salon room. So it was big.
I think it was like Salon A or something.
Yeah,
it was a big one.
Yeah. So there was a wonderful energy in the room, and I went through the process. I explained a little bit of what it is. I showed everyone a question matrix where we kind of split the question. Remember those questions I went through with you, were really drilled down and found out where the cross wiring was, because none of the behaviors that we want to change in our lives are rational, right? It's not logical or rational.
Yeah.
So you say, well, stop doing that. Stop smoking. Well, I can't. Well, just don't buy them anymore. Don't put them in your mouth. Well, I can't. It's not rational. If that were true, then we just do talk therapy and
poof,
just find everything better. But it's something's cross-wired in the unconscious mind. And there's a reaction in the nervous system, and that reaction dates back to sometimes before we had we were verbal. Sometimes before we had an ego or a conscious mind really in place. And the answer to shifting it is always, always, always hidden in a blind spot, because the system, that constructed identity that we create in our lives, that we project out into the world, says this is who we are. It wants to stay in place. The ego saying, hey, just keep doing it the way you've been doing it. Listen to me and you'll feel better. And of course, a lot of times that just isn't the case. We just keep juggling more balls to try and keep this whole constructed identity going. Some people build cities of a constructed identity, and when that thing comes down, it makes a big splash. And when we did that session with you, I just want to say I was really honored, touched, and really admired how willing you were in front of all those people just to be really honest and tell the truth on your stuff. That really impressed me so much. I have so much respect for you for doing that.
I'm about to get teary-eyed over here. I'm like, oh, I want to be like that. What's that girl from the Grammys? They love me. They really love me. No, like me, I don't like getting up in front of crowds, and so I'm sitting there like, oh, of course, it's like all eyes are on me, heart's thumping, and then it dawned on me, I'm like, I'm here in a group of friends. That's why I love hypnosis community, is we're all trying to better somebody. We're all trying to help somebody along a journey. And like the different crowds I used to hang out with when I used to drink almost 2 years ago and party all the time, those crowds are not trying. They're not trying to empower you, lift you up. It's a totally different dynamics. So when we did this change, or when we did this process, my main thing was I forget what my main thing was. I think it was it's been 6 months ago. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it was a feeling, like an overall uneasy feeling of, the opposite of what freedom, I guess freedom is. Just like an overall uneasy, kind of stuck feeling. I've always had I used to have real bad depression. Used to be suicidal 19, 20 years ago. And even though all that depression's pretty much gone, there's always this underlying stuff here and there. I mean, once in a while I'll get depressed now. It's nothing like it used to be. It's actually better since the workshop. With the workshop, the process you use, how do I say, it kind of drilled down to what was really going on. It was the one thing about you, I guess, your particular approach is your sense of humor. Your sense of humor, how do I say it? It helps somebody to kind of knock their defenses down, but also at the same time you kind of drill down like you're not going to take no for an answer. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember one part where you were building up an anchor and you asked me how's that feel? Like, oh, it feels good. Then you kind of smack me in the chest. You're like, oh, no, you don't get to feel that good yet. So I think just that right there is an example of how you can control your state. You can build the state up, and then you're like basically, hey, stop it. And you can teach them like you can take the state down just as easy. The one of the, I guess the biggest changes was letting myself know I don't have to be so dependent on people. That's one of my biggest problems, which it's actually much better since then, but I've always had a problem of wanting to be codependent, relying on everybody to do everything for me. I guess maybe it was ever since I was a kid, being a mama's boy. Everything definitely shifted in the past, say, 10 years or so since I moved to Kauai, but there was always still an underlying level of that. And with this process, there's one memory in particular. I'm not going to go into detail. Dealt with a traumatic experience. I'm sure you remember. I told you about it. I think I was 6 years old, and everybody in the room, they knew as soon. Let me back it up a little bit. He had me standing up. You were doing, I believe, like an anchor collapse. And I went in. I was talking about this memory, like what was going on, and you had actually stopped me. Because you didn't really need to know the context, but everybody in the room knew exactly what I was talking about. And afterwards, people were coming up to me, hugging me, saying, you know what, I've gone through that before. I've been dealing with this, and blah, blah, blah. So that right there, it took away some of, I guess, the shame of what might have happened. And there were so many times I remember looking at one guy in particular, I can't remember his name, Greg, friends on Facebook, another hypnotist, looking at him in the front row. I could almost see the love beaming from his eyes, and he kind of just gave me a head nod. It's almost like telepathically he's telling me, you know what, we're here for you. It was such a big group healing dynamic that it blew me away. At one point, I remember it was a 4-hour class. We did a good amount of work in the first half, and I remember walking around the hallway at the Orleans in Vegas, and I had the feeling of being authentic. Like I always wanted to get like feeling of freedom because I always felt kind of tied back, but it was actually a feeling of being authentic. I can kind of feel that anchor coming back now, but feeling that feeling of being authentic where it didn't really matter. One continued change is when I look back to that traumatic memory I had, it doesn't really affect me as much. It's almost like seeing it from an observer perspective. And I've told my mom, brothers, sister, and I think maybe one cousin about this memory and this particular time. And there's no kind of course, there's not going to be any kind of shame or judgment. Of course, they're going to hug me. And then I think for me telling the family members this, it kind of corroborated other people's ideas and stories of things that might have happened. So it definitely helped me to feel a little more at ease. And one thing I was just telling Ken is after I came back, we did a follow-up session, and then one thing that I noticed is we were just talking to him. I felt like I had backslid for a moment because we did this next session over Skype, and I noticed feelings of, I guess, not being loved or being alone started bubbling up. And he had just described to me, it's not so much of backsliding, but it's just more layers of stuff kind of pouring up.
Right. So I remember something that was significant that I noticed in your friends. I know Ron and a couple other people that know you really well came up to me over the next day or two saying, I can't believe the difference in Antonio here at the conference, in the way he's speaking and the presence that he's holding, how he's holding himself, and how clearly you were communicating you to them.
Yeah.
They said they really noticed the difference. And then and then I seem to remember that evening seeing you in a white dress, and I think that's kind of a little bit different for you too.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Let me see if I find that on my phone. So, are you making me blush? And let me say, that's the only time I'll ever wear a dress because I am way too hairy for a dress. Let me see if I can pull you up. So basically,
you got great legs for it.
I do. The funny thing is that actually brings up, I always had a real bad fear of being judged, like horrendous fear of being judged. Let's see if I can find this picture. And after I think it was that night. I think it was the night of the we did that change. There was a pajama party at the Orleans. For anybody that's never been to Hypnothoughts live, go there. It's an amazing fun. I mean, a pajama party with hypnotists in a casino. So there was a pajama party. So I'm like, and everybody heard about it last minute. I'm like, okay, where? I'm like, kind of freaking out. I'm like, I can't find any pajamas. Can't find any pajamas. I go up to, somebody said the gift shop had some. I go up there. I'm like, no pajamas. Went up to my girlfriend. Went up to the hotel room. I asked her if she had any pajamas. We're looking all over the place. Couldn't find any pajamas, but I found her nice little beach dress.
So those are some of the shifts I noticed in Antonio right away, and then, if I recall correctly, you made a career change shortly thereafter as well.
Oh yeah, I used to work in timeshare, putting people through presentations here. I'll find that picture later. But what happened is I hated that job. I worked there for 6 long years. It was absolutely fucking dreadful. And since I own creative control of this, I might bleep out the fucking. It was the worst job I've ever done. It was just corporate, high pressure BS. Oh, you're looking for that. You're looking for that picture, right?
I got it.
Okay, yeah. So let me back up and tell about the story. So long story short, I had this overwhelming after the night of the night of the workshop. I had this overwhelming feeling of, you know what? I don't need to be judged anymore. Who gives a shit about being judged? So I went up, could not find pajamas for the pajama party. So I went up to my girlfriend. I'm like, here, got her beach dress, put it on, and she was a little mad. Maybe I could fill it out. I don't know. Maybe she was mad because I looked beautiful in it. But I remember, so I'm walking down the hallway, and I get into the elevator. We're on the 17th floor, get in the elevator, and I see like 3 guys coming up the elevator. So I didn't know these people, so I was not comfortable yet. So I closed the doors. And then as soon as I got down to the casino, like I would never wear a dress. And it was funny that some people, of course, people look at you like, oh, that's a little odd. You normally don't see a guy in a dress. But for Vegas, I guess it's not all that uncommon. So long story short, the reason I did it, God, I look it's kind of shiny. There's a light on it.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty handsome in a dress, except for God, look at that hairy chest. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy,
yummy.
Yep, delicious.
There's Randy.
Yep, Randy Light. You know, if I were ever to wear a dress, decide that was my next big thing. If I were to change my identity, I guess my name would probably be Penetration. Okay, before we devolve into really bad jokes, we can switch up. Yeah, so that little glimpse of having that freedom, not feeling judged, it felt better than I've felt in a very long time.
That's awesome. And it was just you allowing part of you to be revealed. You know?
Yeah, like the authentic stuff. It was always there. It just had to clean the mud off.
Not worrying about portraying a picture that's consistent with with how you want the world to see you. Just being whatever's in the moment. In that case, it was like being playful with friends and just being able to be present with that and enjoy yourself. And that seemed very you. You were having a ball, and people were having a ball with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I remember, thank God I did have underwear on, because a couple girls would come up and like lift up and like, oh. There's actually one picture that Donna Carter pointed out. There was some girl somebody behind me. I think they had like they had something pink on, so it looked like flesh because like behind the dress. I was like, oh no, I didn't go that far. Yeah, so it was definitely a good glimpse of having that freedom.
Right. Now, what was different about what we did one session. Now, normally that process I would do with someone is 4 sessions over 3 months. Because what naturally happens is once that's cleared, then the system says, oh, are we getting rid of crap? Well, here's something else that's buried underneath that. Here it is. Here's some yuck. And then we clear that away. They're coming for you, Antonio.
Yeah, they are.
And then after we clear that, then something else will bubble up. And the sessions are spaced further and further apart because after you've done this 2 or 3 or 4 times, it can take a month or more for something else to come up because the system becomes so clean. And then by the time we've done that 4 times, people tell me I feel more like myself than I've ever felt. And whatever the issue or the trigger was that they came to see me for is gone, and a whole bunch of things that they never thought of asking for transform at the same time. That means more authentic in relationship, career changes. Sometimes the physical body will transform. Allergies, rashes will disappear. Migraines disappear. Other kinds of physical ailments will just evaporate because when we clear energetically and emotionally from what's stored in the body, when we clear that, the body will just naturally transform at the same time. So something I wanted to key in on was that feeling of loneliness that you felt since then. Okay, and what I would invite you to do, and I realize it's been we did that in August. Now it's the end of May. So June, July, August. So it's been 9 months since we did that. I can't believe we're just 3 months away from.
I know, hypnothoughts
again. Okay, but loneliness is not necessarily a negative thing. It's not a problem. It's a signal that there's something out of alignment, right? Because you got a taste. Especially there at Hypnothoughts that night, of experiencing yourself as authentic and connected with people. And so I invite you to look at where in your life you're not connecting in the way that you would like to be, or not connect. Yeah, something.
Yeah, what I want to say from the last session, the whole thing about loneliness, which you mean, like most people know, like I'm not religious at all. I really don't drive with any religions. I'm more as cliche and hipster-esque as it sounds, I'm spiritual. I consider myself more spiritual than tied to any one particular religion. And I think it was the second session, you might be able to remember this, when this memory bubbled up where I think I was probably 3 or 4 where I was in a parents' old apartment. I got my eyes closed so I can remember it. I remember at one point just being really sad, crying, and thinking like, God, why, like, are you real? Why did you do this? It almost felt like I felt like a lonely or abandonment from God, or some kind of spiritual being. And that loneliness, and my dad, we've always had a very, I know, like, although I love him, he loves me. We've had a very kind of rough and tumble relationship. And in the past, let's see, since December, more of these feelings have been flooding up because him and my mom went through some major drama. They ended up divorcing. And I see him from time to time. He's living on the island now, homeless, living in a homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. And basically, what happened, there was a fight at my parents' house. I had to call the cops on my dad, and I remember just thinking, like, crying, almost feeling like I was a kid, like feeling like I hope he still loves me. And he didn't even talk to anybody. I think in the moment, he was just so pissed. He walked by everybody, didn't talk to any of the kids. And I remember I hadn't seen him for like two or 3 weeks, maybe a month or more. I remember a couple times like crying, thinking about does he still love me? And those feelings of I guess not being loved as a kid were just bubbling up to the surface. So I guess you're right about things will eventually just will just bubble up.
Okay, so I'll repeat the question I asked you a bit earlier, and it's really not a question as much as an invitation to look at the loneliness and feel in the loneliness. That's a signal that you might not be connecting with people, or people might not be connecting with you in the way you'd prefer, right? So loneliness can motivate us to make positive changes in our life, to allow people in closer and to allow you in the world more authentically and closely to others, right? So where in your life are you not connecting with others in the way you prefer to?
Yeah, it's funny. It's easy to answer a question when you shut your mind up. Business, I guess. Even though, like, I know I'm a good salesperson. Sometimes I don't think it, but people at work, like, you're a good salesperson. Even though I know I can stop somebody at work, I can open them, close them. I almost feel awkward. I still feel like there's a barrier there. With relationships in general, girlfriend and family, where I'm not really connecting as well as I should be or could be.
Yeah, and this doesn't need to be a should be. It really is a could be, right? Because as your system gets a taste for what's possible, it's going to want more of that. And the loneliness can be a signal or a sign to point you in the direction of where, you know, what's actually your most natural state of being. Because what we're doing is each time we're clearing away what's in the way of you just being your true highest self in your relationships with whoever you're in a major relationship, your primary relationship with, or your family, and definitely colleagues at work and customers. And when we clear what's in the way of that from the system, then you just naturally feel like you're having your best day. You feel like you're in the zone. You feel like you're in flow, and that's where we are when the conscious mind and the constrictions aren't in the way.
Yeah, I remember when you did the anchor collapse of. I remember first session talking about like all that negative energy felt like a sludge, and then when you're bringing the anchor up, I remember at one point like me, I've always had a bad gag reflex, and I could feel my stomach turning. And you probably remember that. I'm like at the point of almost puking. You had that anchor so high at one point. I was like, okay, you can slow it down. Don't need to get sick on the floor. Just you remember? Just it was almost like if I'd still been smoking, like if I smoked way too many cigarettes and I got a bad reaction, just coughing and ready to at the verge of puking, like chewing tobacco, kind of the gut reaction of, oh my god, I swallowed some chewing tobacco, I'm gonna throw up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've made some wonderful changes, and it looks like there's more up that wants to clear. Yeah. So if you want, we can schedule a third session and then you'd have a story to tell the hypnothoughts.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
It started taking so long to get back to you. And other thing I want to talk about is two things. One, your road to recovery, and hypnothoughts. So clue people into your little ordeal recently.
Well, yeah. For those of you who don't know, who aren't Facebook friends, about a month and a half ago, it wasn't very long ago at all. Actually, it was 2 a.m. I was asleep, and I have a 5-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. My 5-year-old son climbs into bed with us pretty much every night around 2 a.m. And sure enough, he climbs into bed with us, and he wakes me up, and he's snuggling in, and I'm feeling some pain in my chest. I thought I'd pulled a muscle the way I turned or something, and so I turned back and rolled over the other way, and it didn't go away. Well, it didn't go away, and at a certain point, we said we should pack up the kids and head to the hospital and check out what this is about. By the time I got to the hospital, it pretty much subsided. So it was 40 minutes of discomfort enough to go to the hospital, but not, I wasn't debilitated by it. I walked to the car and got in and went ourselves. Well, the next morning we did an angiogram, and they put the dye in the blood, and you can see and look inside, see what's going on. I had 95% blockage in one vessel and 87% in another, and all these blockages. And they say, you need, stents won't even do you any good. You need open heart surgery. So I told everyone, don't freak out. This is awesome. Like, my body clued me in to a major problem in my heart so that I could get it fixed before there was any damage caused. So that was just awesome. I had zero fear and zero anxiety about the entire process. And I don't know why. I think part of it is from all the hypnosis I do. I keep reframing things for people all these years, and I think I just naturally did it. Or maybe it came in from a higher power. I don't know. I can't explain it. All I knew was I was just feeling totally positive. The hospital staff didn't know what the hell to do with me because I felt fine the entire time I was in the hospital, including after surgery. 5 hours of surgery, I had a quadruple bypass, and I woke up at 11 p.m. and 4 hours later I was sitting up in a chair. I was like, yeah, I feel great, and I was balancing on one foot and doing tricks for the nurses, and they kicked me out of ICU, which is what I wanted, and then they said I'd be in the hospital for a week. They kicked me out in 3 days so I could get home. And
so you probably have a big fat scar then, right?
It's you know what? It's disappearing really quickly. Okay.
You know what? The story for people that don't know. What's the story for people that don't know? You gonna tell them?
People don't know. So I told the hospital staff. I told the surgeon, the cardiac surgeon. I said, okay, so fine, yeah, let's do this. But 27 days from now, I plan on being on a flight to Phoenix for a really awesome training I want to do with some of my friends. Martin Peterson was there, and Steve Ray was there. Steve Roth was there. Johnny was there, so I really wanted to be there for that.
And one other person was there, Facebook friends with him, Ivan, I think his name was.
Oh yes, Ivan was there.
Yep,
great guy. I met him. I didn't know him before that. So I went there. I did great, and actually hiked up Camelback Mountain on the last day. So now so I just did a training class in Sacramento. A bunch of new smoking cessation specialists, taught them the guzzo protocol, which I'll be teaching in Vegas. And then next week I'll be flying to British Columbia to teach a hypnotist certification class on Vancouver Island. So the healing has been wonderful, quick. I had to cancel all my clients for a month and move them to the future, but only one person canceled. One person canceled because they didn't want to wait. They just quit on their own. But everyone else... Yeah, everyone else waited for me, and I've been now going crazy seeing all these clients. So I'm for everyone out there. I'm healing wonderfully quick, and everything's great. The whole thing has been a very positive experience, and making some lifestyle changes too. So
that is good.
Soon I'll be getting good exercise, which I still can't lift more than 10 pounds. I keep doing it by accident, but I'm not supposed to be lifting more than 10 pounds so the sternum can heal.
Okay, so long story short, another good change, getting into shape, building up muscles. I don't know if I can say muscles, but muscle finally, which is good. And it's good for strength and also for the self-esteem, the confidence. Let's see. So guzzo
You're gonna
protocol.
look
That's
even better in a dress next year.
oh, I'm sure I will. I don't know. I might get. I might look like one of those female bodybuilders. We don't want that.
Ooh. Yeah, to each their own.
I'm gonna have to get me some good pajamas. What so the guzzo protocol, is this the non-smoking protocol?
Well, this year at Hypnothoughts, I'm unpacking it from my smoking cessation course for the first time. So for the last 2 years, it's been a very popular course. I teach hypnotists all over the world. I believe it's the most effective process ever developed for quitting smoking. People flown in from Australia and Kuwait, and all across North America to learn this protocol. Well, that's a $3,600 program. It's well worth it. Your first 6 clients pays for it because I show people how to build a practice where you're charging $595 per session. 100% referral. I've been 100% referral for 7 years. I haven't spent a cent on advertising, and I'm booked up 3 or 4 weeks in advance. And in the days I see clients, I'm making $2,000 to $3,000 a day. So I show you everything that I do, and I give you everything that I have to do to replicate that. The next class will be in November for the smoking cessation. But at Hypnothoughts, I wanted to do something a little different this year. So I'm breaking apart just the neurological process, and I've been reluctant to name it for all these years because, for whatever reason, I just called it the neurological process. But I actually finally named it. It's the guzzo protocol, and it's a 2-part process. It's a greeting, and then after the pre-talk, it's working with the physical body, the nervous system, to clear the problem before the client sits in the chair for the hypnosis. So it's not only just clearing a problem, which is in and of itself is very powerful, but it's about having impact in your sessions. It's about upping the game so that your clients are blown away by the session, so they have a story to tell, so they become enthusiastic referrers. Right within that greeting, in the first 2 minutes, they know something really amazing is about to happen. Even if they've been to a hypnotist before, they can't explain. It gets you instant compliance, credibility. The belief level in the client goes up. They have an experience of hypnotic phenomenon. So they're not sitting back in your pre-talk saying, "Well, okay, impress me, I dare you." They're already in. They're saying, "Yeah, give it to me, give it to me." Like, what is this? I'm blown away.
You built that.
So that's what.
No, I'm saying. So you built up the expectation right from the get.
Go ahead.
No, so you built the expectation right from the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, not only, we're creating a positive expectation, as you're saying, but it's not just expectation. They're experiencing something right away in the moment, so it's about impact. So that's what I'll be teaching as a 2-day post-conference, and there are still seats left. It's filling up wonderfully. And then there's a 2-day pre-conference that I'm doing with Mark Peterson called Hypnotic Excellence. And we're going to be making ourselves available for Q&A to really talk specifically about issues that you might be having in your own practice, to show you how to, we've been really fortunate to be very successful in our own right, financially and professionally. And be able to, for me, I reversed my work week. I see clients two days a week, and I've got the freedom to do what I want. I have 2 young children. I like to be around the family more, to write a book, to take other trainings, to travel to other places. I like having that freedom. That's $2,000 to $3,000 a day. Like, how much money do I need to make? That's making more money than I can spend right now. So for me, it's about the freedom. So we're going to be teaching that to you, the practice management, and some very powerful conversational hypnotic techniques that really utilize neuroplasticity in people's minds and their brains and their nervous systems. So it's just that powerful change that you can just do conversationally with people. So working with the body, working conversationally with hypnosis with the mind. Very, very powerful stuff. So that's going to be the pre-conference with Martin Peterson, and the post-conference with me is at the Guzzo protocol. So that's what's happening at Hypnothoughts. And then I'm teaching a couple of great classes as well on the Saturday and the Sunday, I believe.
So, folks, you don't need to go to anybody else's classes. Just go to his classes. You should be good. Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's some other ones. I think there's a couple other good trainers there this year.
It's so hard because there's so many good.
We're jam-packed.
I know. I can't wait. James Tripp's coming.
There's so many great trainers at Hypnothoughts that you can't make a wrong.
Well, the only wrong choice you can make is not showing up. You hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, so the connection's a little wonky right now. So, Hypnothoughts Live on htlive.net, and it's August 25th, 26th, 27th, I believe. Let's double check. Yep, August 25th.
I believe that is correct. And my pre-conference course is the 22nd, 23rd. Yeah. So my pre-conference is on the 22nd, 23rd, and then there's a day off in the middle. And then my post-conference 2 days is the day off, and then you can go to the Grand Canyon, or you can go play by the pool or something. And then I think it's the 29th and 30th.
Oh, I can't wait.
See you there. Be there. Be square.
Yes. Don't be one of those fuddy-duddies and don't show up. I can't believe I said the word fuddy-duddy. It makes me sound old now. Something old. Yeah, the fuddy-duddy. Oh, it's been great catching up with you.
I only go to conferences on the East Coast. Sorry.
Oh, Lord. How do they let people like us in charge of technology and put all this stuff to the masses? So, folks,
I don't know.
Get out there.
They got to figure it out.
Yeah, I will see you soon.
Come to Hypnothoughts. These two guys.
Oh, you can't get much better than that.
What the alligator bar? Alligator bar. I'll be the alligator, and Antonio.
I'll be the pretty princess. What happens in Vegas ends up on this podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, the video goes home with you.
Exactly. Aloha, folks. If you look below, you'll see a button where you can sign up for his workshop. Check out Hypnothoughts, and then below that, you'll see a email box or a subscribe box. Put your name, your email, and you'll get instant access to a PDF where I show you how to sell more of your products online. See you in Vegas.